Oh man, so Polkadot and Cosmos's Atom token, two heavyweights in the layer zero internet of blockchain space today. They're gonna have a showdown. They're gonna be up against each other. We're gonna compare these two projects to see where they excel and where some of their weaknesses are. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, check out the links in the description to check out BYBIT and BitGet if you want to buy any crypto. Let's get straight into this special episode for you guys. So first off, let's start off looking at the background and the founding team of each of these projects. So Polkadot is founded by Gavin Wood, who famously was one of the co-founders of the Ethereum blockchain. It's no surprise or hidden secret that Gavin Wood is an extremely intelligent developer. In 2018, he was responsible for founding the Substrate, which is a framework which allows you to spin up a blockchain in minutes. He also obviously founded the Kusama network and the Polkadot ecosystem as well. Now, Polkadot was built by Parity, which is a web development company here in London, UK, but its ongoing development and projects are run by the Web3 Foundation. Polkadot's mainnet went live in May 2020, but their native currency, DOT, wasn't exchanged until August of that year in 2020. Now, what about Cosmos? Well, Cosmos was founded by a company called Tendermint, which is now called Ignite, based over in the US, founded by a guy called Jai Kwan. But you guys can rest assured it's not related to Do Kwon, so you guys can take a sigh of relief there. Now, Cosmos's main live went live a year earlier in March of 2019, but it's still technically under development. The reason behind the continued delays are Cosmos's focus around building the Cosmos SDK and also the IBC, which we're going to come on to shortly. Now, let's move on to the vision of each of these projects. Now, Polkadot's vision is to build the decentralized internet, right? Web3, which is what they want to call it. Web3 is a version of the public internet, but what they want to do is take the power back from individual centralized entities such as Google and Facebook. They want to put it decentralized back in the hands of the people on public blockchains. Now, Cosmos's goal is a little bit similar. They want to build the internet of blockchains, and through their SDK and their IBC, they want people to be able to build public blockchains easily and for them to be able to transact and communicate with each other very easily through their SDK and IBC. Now, let's get into the technology underlying each of these. Now, Polkadot runs a novel consensus mechanism, a variant of proof of stake called nominated proof of stake. They are run by over 300 validators, allowing throughput of over 1,000 transactions per second. DOT, which is the native token of the blockchain, is used to pay for transactions and to participate in Polkadot's consensus and governance mechanism. Cosmos uses a proof of stake consensus mechanism as well. They run a BFT, Byzantine fault tolerant consensus mechanism. Each of the blockchains controls its own governance, but they are still interoperable with the other blockchains on the network. Currently, Cosmos is limited to 150 validators on the network and can process up to 10,000 transactions per second. With the Cosmos SDK, which stands for Software Development Kit, they hope to be able to reduce the time it takes to build a blockchain from years to just weeks. They've also built their IBC, which is their Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol. This allows blockchains to seamlessly interact and communicate with each other using this IBC technology. IBC uses the instant finality feature from the Tendermint consensus mechanism to enable heterogeneous blockchains to not only transfer tokens to each other, but data as well. Atom is the native token on the Cosmos network and is used to pay for storing data and transactions to the system. It's also used for the governing process, which you could use to stake to keep the network up and running. Next up, let's take a look at some of their technology and features. First up, Polkadot. It's important to understand that Polkadot is a mix of different aspects. So they've got their relay chain, which is the heart of the Polkadot and responsible for the network's shared security, consensus, and cross-chain interoperability. They've then got their parachains, which are the functions around it, followed by parathreads and bridges. Now, the main feature behind Polkadot is their focus around interoperability. They want all these blockchains to be able to communicate and send data back and forth between each other. They want to unite them under the main blockchain, which is the Polkadot main system. Next up, scalability. A standard set of validators can be used to validate all of these blockchains, making scalability super straightforward. Next up, Polkadot is supposed to promote innovation because the substrate framework should allow any developer to just spin up a blockchain in very short amounts of time. Polkadot also allows you to avoid forks. I mean, just ask how much chaos forking causes. Just ask that to the Bitcoin or Ethereum community. With Polkadot, you should be able to integrate new features, fix bugs, and upgrade without the need to fork. And finally, security. Polkadot allows you to keep your own independence and governance models, but still be allowed to interact with other blockchains, so keeps things super secure. Okay, so whilst Polkadot has its main Polkadot blockchain surrounded by these parachains, Cosmos has gone from a hub and zone model. So the center is the Cosmos hub, surrounded by these Cosmos zones. Now the Cosmos hub monitors the state of each of these zones, which are the independent blockchains. Every zone or independent blockchain has customizable parameters, and it allows developers to create new token economies and decide themselves how to authenticate transactions. Now let's talk about the IBC, the big feature for Cosmos, the inter-blockchain communication protocol. Just call it IBC. Now the IBC is what connects each of these zones to the hub. Each zone individually validates user accounts, executes transactions, mints new Atom tokens, and dispenses the reward. So each zone can also modify itself to incorporate performance improvements as well. Remember, each zone operates completely autonomously and requires no intervention. So they can have different validators, different transactions, different token creation, as well as distribution. Now the IBC protocol, the inter-blockchain connection protocol, allows the zones to interface seamlessly with the Cosmos hub in the center, which means they're interoperable. As the hub is the common link to all the zones, the protocol also ensures that the connection and the communication is highly secure and fast. Next up, the Tendermint Byzantine fault-tolerant engine. Yes, the Tendermint BFT engine is probably the most important feature of the Cosmos network. What it allows you to do is this algorithm allows blockchain developers to keep creating and adding new zones to the network without having to code them from scratch. It's also responsible for maintaining the robust security and adding new blocks to each blockchain. At the heart of this powerful blockchain is the Tendermint core, the proof of stake consensus mechanism that governs the massive network of transaction validators and nodes. These validator nodes must agree to a vote when a change or upgrade is proposed. The likelihood of becoming a validator on Cosmos depends on how many Atom tokens you actually stake. Not to mention the Cosmos SDK software development kit, which makes it really easy for app developers to just spin up a blockchain really quickly. Just like Apple or Android, they have a software development kit which have all these frameworks and templates ready for any app developer to come across and spin up a blockchain really quickly with great customization options as well. Cosmos is aiming for scalability. It enables blockchain applications to scale to millions of users through horizontal and vertical scalability solutions. Similarly, as we explored, they also want to chase interoperability just like Polkadot, right? The IBC is built and meant to allow blockchains to communicate with one another. We've also explored that the SDK enables really ease of use. Both of these projects are allowing or trying to make it really easy for dApp developers to spin up blockchains really quickly. Of course, sovereignty. Both these projects, Cosmos and Polkadot, are really focused around sovereignty, allowing each of the blockchain owners to be able to make changes, fix bugs, change features without having to rely on the base layers such as Ethereum. And of course, both being proof of stake, right? They're both promoting sustainability. We already know that proof of stake saves 99% in terms of carbon footprint versus a proof of work consensus mechanism. So, what have we learned? Well, if we look at the model, you can see Polkadot uses a shared model, whilst Cosmos uses a bridge with hub model. If we look at the architecture, Polkadot uses its relay chain as the main chain, and all other chains surrounding it are known as parachain. On Cosmos, the main chain is called the hub, and around it are all the zones, which are the independent blockchains. Moving on to governance, we know Cosmos use a coin vote signaling, whilst Polkadot opts for multi-cameral governance, performance, scalability. We know Polkadot can reach 1 million transactions per second with their parachains, and we know Cosmos can start their own network which runs parallel to the main network, which allows good scalability also. In terms of upgrade, Polkadot is possible without hard forks. However, with Cosmos, you need to hard fork in order to get these upgrades. So let's take a look at these step by step. We'll start off with scalability. So Cosmos is able to scale to up to 1,000 transactions per second on the hub and zone model. There's no limit on the number of hub or zones, and the bandwidth is bound. On Polkadot, you can have up to 1,500 transactions per second, which is passing the 1,000 we've seen on Cosmos, limited to around 100 parachains, whereas Cosmos has no limit on the number of zones, and the relay chain is the bottleneck. Remember, this base layer, similar to how the hub is on Cosmos, is your bottleneck. Moving on to decentralization, now Cosmos is limited to 200 nodes before TPS loss. There's no limit on the number of zones like we covered, and anyone can create a zone or a hub. Looking at Polkadot, however, small number of validators per parachain, max around 1,000 validators on the relay chain, and they're limited to around 100 parachains. Remember, the highest bidder wins, and the relay chain continues to be the single point of failure like we covered off. Latency for Cosmos, 6 seconds for finality, which is super quick. On Polkadot, however, 60 seconds for finality between parachains. External blockchains require even longer at about 60 minutes, which I can see becoming an issue, particularly with newer layer 1 solutions really improving on their block finality with each iteration. Moving on to shared security, every hub and zone has their own security on Cosmos, okay? So the research into shared security with hubs and validating zones and shared security is optional with the Cosmos system. On Polkadot, however, the relay chain validates state transitions for all the parachains, okay? So they're validating it for all the parachains. Each parachain will need to implement their own security to protect against censorship attacks, and shared security is mandatory. So that's not a choice, okay? It's optional on Cosmos, it's mandatory on Polkadot. You have to use the shared security model. Now, let's move on to adoption, right? Which blockchain is really gathering steam and is actually having real life adoption? If we look on currently at the time of recording this video, if you look on Cosmos, 51 projects using the Cosmos SDK, that's a software development kit, although not all of those will connect to the Cosmos network, so that's important. The project started back in 2016, which is the same as Polkadot, which started in 2016 as well. The Cosmos ICO happened in April 2017, and the Polkadot ICO happened in October 2017, so fairly neck and neck in terms of when these guys have started. But Polkadot is on 73 projects building on their substrate. Again, not all may connect to Polkadot, so I'd say they're fairly neck and neck. It's not a super difference either way in terms of their adoption. I'd say both of them would agree they're kind of slower than they probably thought they would be at this stage of their development. What about enterprise adoption? Well, it's with Cosmos, it's permissioned and permissionless blockchains, not required to hold large amounts of high volatile assets. In terms of Polkadot, they must lock up large amounts of highly volatile assets in auction and chance of being outbid and losing the slot. Remember, you have to put your amounts into the parachain and lock it there with risk of losing that slot as well. Can't enforce regulated entities to validate the chain. Rollback of the relay chain would roll back the whole parachain on Polkadot. Finally, interoperability. Both of them come in strong on interoperability. Interoperate across a path of connected zones and hubs on the Cosmos network. Different trust levels with each zone, hub, and path taken. They can connect to external blockchain through peg zones or require them to fork their code and implement IBC, which is their inter-blockchain communication. With Polkadot, however, all parachains share the same trust assumptions of the relay chain validator sets. They have to rely on the validator set. You can connect to external blockchains through the bridge parachains. Long finality times, like we covered off with external blockchains, up to 60 minutes in some cases, and limited number of parachains, limited with the top limit at 100 parachains possible on the network. Finally, very quickly, just to touch upon headline tokenomics. Of course, we could do a detailed deep dive into each of these tokenomics. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. But with Cosmos Atom is only used for the Cosmos hub, okay? So no connections to other zones. Currently, you cannot use the Atom on the zone blockchains built around the Cosmos network at the moment. Each zone or hub has its own token, and there will be many hubs, okay? So there's no need for each of these token to use or burn the Atom token, which means it's not great for the Atom price if you're solely looking into that. It's inflationary, and there is no cap supply on the Atom token. Current market cap sitting at 1.1 billion at the time of this graphic. With Polkadot, the DOT token is used to secure the relay chain. Each parachain needs to acquire enough DOT to win an auction to secure a parachain slot. Parafred DOT auction to get validated. Each parachain has their own token. Again, inflationary, no cap supply, current market cap of 3.8 billion on DOT. Whoa, so there you have it, guys. Two really powerful layer 0 solutions, both targeting the same space. And as you can see, they're both pretty neck and neck. If you ask me to pick a winner from this space, this is something you would have to call a draw at this point. I hate sitting on the fence, but when you stack up everything which we've just looked at here, I mean, there are certain areas where Cosmos excels. I mean, for example, the finality, and then there are other areas where Polkadot excels in terms of some of their use cases and adoption. But overall, both of these have huge potential, but the common denominator behind both of these, they really need to make more progress. Both of these ICO'd back in 2017. We are 5 years on, and they really need to build some killer use case apps where people can say, hang on again, these guys have seriously made it, they've seriously cracked it, and people are talking about them. So overall, amazing technology. Both projects which I'll continue to dollar cost average into. I think they both have a space in a well-balanced portfolio, and I cannot pick a winner between either of these. Hope you guys learned something in this video. Don't forget to smash up the like button and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which one are you vouching for. You can either sit on the fence like me, or you can drop a comment with either DOT or Atom in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to smash up the like button and subscribe. Check out BYBIT and BitGet, links in the description. Go watch this video here, and I'll see you in the next one.